My friends, I want you to think about something. Where do ideas come from? Isn't that a question we all ask at some point in our lives? Whether we're trying to launch a new project, solve a problem, or create something that will make a difference, we all want to know, where do those brilliant, game-changing ideas come from? I'll tell you, these ideas don't come from just sitting in a room staring at a blank page. No, they come from something deeper. They come from a place of curiosity. Curiosity, my friends, is the spark that lights the fire of innovation. It's that feeling you get when you ask, why and what if and could this be different? And here's the thing, we need to embrace that curiosity with open arms, because those questions are often the seeds of everything we're looking for. Innovation doesn't happen by accident. It happens when we dare to question what's been done before, when we open our minds to the possibilities. But let me tell you something important. You will never innovate without facing failure. Innovation and failure go hand in hand. Every failure is not a setback, it's a lesson. Every time we stumble, we learn, we grow, and ultimately we get closer to the breakthrough we're seeking. The most successful people, the ones who change the world, don't let failure define them. They let it refine them. Innovation is not just about what we know, it's about what we experience. Life in all its forms, our relationships, our trials, our joys, feeds our creativity. Every conversation you have, every hardship you face, every success you celebrate adds something to the well of inspiration. So never underestimate the power of your own story. Every experience is valuable, and in the right moment, it could be the very thing that sparks the next big idea. Now, if we're being real, I'll tell you, this innovation rarely happens in isolation. It comes from connection. Sometimes the best ideas emerge when we share our thoughts with others, when we work together, when we listen with an open heart. Collaboration is not just a buzzword, it's the secret ingredient that turns good ideas into great ones. And speaking of listening, have you ever had a moment where you just stopped, really listened to the world around you? The world speaks to us all the time. It tells us where there's a need, where something is broken, where something is missing. If we take the time to listen, to really listen, those are the moments when the greatest ideas are born. When you tune into the world's heartbeat, you'll hear its call for change. But we also have to trust ourselves, trust our intuition. How often have you had a feeling deep down inside, something that didn't make sense on paper, but you just knew it was the right move? That's the power of our inner voice. Innovation thrives when we listen to that quiet whisper, even when the world shouts in a different direction. And speaking of listening, I want to remind you, innovation doesn't happen in a vacuum. It happens when we open ourselves up to different perspectives, when we invite diversity into our lives, when we let people from all walks of life share their wisdom, their experiences, and their ideas. The more diverse the voices, the richer the ideas. Now, here's the kicker: innovation requires courage. It requires the boldness to step into the unknown, to take risks, to fail, and to get back up again. It takes guts to challenge the status quo, to push against the norms, and to believe in something before anyone else does. Don't wait for permission to innovate. Go ahead and take that first step, even if it feels like the ground isn't solid beneath you. And don't forget to play. Yes, play. Creativity thrives in an environment of freedom. When we let go of the rules, when we allow ourselves to dream without limits, that's when the magic happens. Some of the most groundbreaking ideas come from moments of pure imagination, where we're allowed to explore just for the joy of it. But here's the truth: innovation is a journey. It's not a destination. You don't wake up one day and say, I'm done innovating. No, my friends, innovation is an ongoing process, a constant evolution. We grow, we learn, we iterate, and we improve. So stay open, stay curious, keep evolving. You are here to make a difference. You are capable of ideas that will change the world. So trust the process, embrace the failure, listen to your intuition, stay curious, and most of all, keep dreaming. Curiosity is one of the most powerful forces in the world, and it's often the quiet driver behind every breakthrough. Think about it: every invention, every discovery, every major shift in how we live and think began with a simple question, a spark of curiosity. It's the thing that pushes us to ask why and what if, when everyone else is content with the way things are. When we allow ourselves to wonder, to be inquisitive, we create the space for ideas to emerge, sometimes from places we least expect. But curiosity doesn't always look like we think it should. It's not always about having the answer immediately or solving a problem right away. Sometimes curiosity is just about asking the right question and allowing the journey of discovery to unfold. It's about not being satisfied with surface-level answers, but instead digging deeper, exploring further, and staying open to whatever might come up along the way. Curiosity is about pushing past the familiar and daring to step into the unknown. And this is where the magic happens. When we're curious, we start seeing connections that others miss. We start to notice patterns, to recognize opportunities where others see only obstacles. Curiosity opens our minds to new possibilities and helps us see beyond the limits of what we already know. It invites us to challenge the status quo, to break through the boundaries of conventional thinking, and to look at the world through a different lens. But curiosity also requires courage. It's not always easy to ask questions, especially when we don't know the answers or when those around us may dismiss or reject our curiosity. The brave ones are those who push past the discomfort, who ask the hard questions even when they don't know where the answers will take them. They're the ones who are willing to risk looking silly or feeling unsure or failing, because they understand that curiosity is the first step in the process of creation, and creation is always messy. And perhaps most importantly, curiosity fuels a kind of openness. When we're curious, we don't just explore ideas and concepts. We explore people, we explore cultures, we explore beliefs, we explore experiences that are different from our own. We learn from others, and in turn, our ideas are enriched, expanded, and deepened by those different perspectives. Curiosity invites us to embrace the unknown, to lean into the unfamiliar, and to approach everything, whether it's a new project, a new person, or a new challenge, with an open heart and an open mind. In the end, curiosity isn't just about finding answers, it's about the willingness to stay in the question. It's about nurturing that spark of wonder, that desire to explore, and allowing it to lead you to new realms of possibility. Because when we live from a place of curiosity, we create space for innovation to flow, for creativity to thrive, and for the next great idea to emerge. Failure is often seen as something to be avoided at all costs, but what if I told you that failure is not the enemy? It's actually one of the most essential ingredients in the process of innovation. Failure, in its truest form, is a teacher. It's the hard-won wisdom that comes from stepping outside our comfort zones and trying something new, even when we don't know if we're going to succeed. In fact, some of the greatest breakthroughs in history were born out of moments that seemed like absolute failure at the time. The key is learning to reframe our relationship with failure. We're conditioned from an early age to fear failure, to view it as a sign of weakness or incompetence. But the reality is that failure is simply a part of the creative process. It's a sign that we're pushing boundaries, testing limits, and stepping into uncharted territory. When we fail, we learn. We learn what doesn't work. We learn what needs to be adjusted. And most importantly, we learn resilience, the ability to get back up, dust ourselves off, and keep moving forward. Every failure contains valuable data, and it's this data that helps us refine our ideas, improve our approach, and get closer to the breakthrough we're seeking. It's also important to recognize that failure teaches us humility. It reminds us that no matter how confident we are, we can't control every outcome, we can't predict every challenge, but we can control how we respond to it. And often failure helps us build character, teaches us patience, and sharpens our focus. It forces us to question assumptions, examine our motivations, and dig deeper into our process. The key is not to be discouraged by setbacks, but to use them as fuel for innovation. When we embrace failure, we also create an environment where risk-taking is encouraged. When we allow ourselves to fail without shame, we free ourselves to take bigger, bolder risks. We start to think outside the box, take chances, and explore untested ideas. We create space for creativity to flourish, knowing that the road to innovation is rarely smooth and linear. Instead, it's full of twists, turns, and yes, failures. But perhaps most importantly, failure fosters a growth mindset. When we view failure as part of the process, we open ourselves up to continuous learning and improvement. It's a mindset that says, I'm not where I want to be yet, but I'm going to keep growing. I'm going to keep refining my ideas, keep testing new possibilities, and keep evolving. With this perspective, every failure becomes a valuable lesson, and every setback is simply a detour on the road to success. So I want you to remember this failure is not the end. It's a part of the journey. It's the place where the seeds of innovation are planted and nurtured. When you embrace failure, you embrace the full potential of your creative process. You give yourself permission to dream, to experiment, to learn, and to grow. And ultimately, it's through embracing failure that we pave the way for the next great idea to emerge. Our experiences shape us in ways that we often don't fully realize until we look back. Every moment, every conversation, every challenge we face, and every success we achieve is quietly influencing how we think, how we create, and how we innovate. The role of experience in the creative process cannot be overstated. It's the raw material that our ideas are built from, the lens through which we see the world, and the foundation on which innovation is constructed. We tend to think of ideas as flashes of inspiration, sudden, brilliant moments that arrive fully formed. But in reality, every idea is influenced by a lifetime of experiences. The way you were raised, the places you've lived, the people you've met, the obstacles you've overcome, all of these experiences contribute to your unique perspective. And it's from this perspective that new ideas are born. When you're curious about something, your experiences help you connect the dots in ways others might not see. They give you a wealth of knowledge to pull from when you're faced with a problem or a question. Your personal history, your failures, your triumphs, and your lessons learned all provide a rich tapestry of insight that informs your creative thinking. The beauty of experience is that it often gives us the confidence to innovate. When we've lived through something, when we've walked through the fire, we know what it takes to get through it. We learn to trust ourselves, trust our instincts, and trust the knowledge that we've accumulated. This allows us to take risks, to explore uncharted territories, and to come up with solutions that we might not have considered before. Our experiences teach us what works, but perhaps more importantly, they teach us what doesn't work, which can be just as valuable. The more diverse our experiences, the more well-rounded and innovative our ideas become. It's through exposure to different cultures, viewpoints, and life stories that we expand our own thinking. The world is full of wisdom, and every new experience is an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to push the boundaries of our creativity. By embracing new experiences, we break out of the limitations of our familiar routines and expand our understanding of what's possible. But perhaps the most powerful way experience fuels innovation is by giving us the gift of perspective. With time, we begin to see patterns, things that once seemed random or disconnected start to come together in surprising ways. The more we learn, the more we can synthesize our experiences, finding solutions that draw from our past while propelling us forward into new territory. The beauty of this perspective is that it allows us to take everything we've learned and use it to build something new, something that hasn't been done before. Connection is at the heart of innovation. It's easy to think that creativity is a solitary pursuit, a lone genius sitting in a room, coming up with world-changing ideas. But in reality, the most powerful innovations are often the result of deep, meaningful connections with others, with the world around us, and with our own inner selves. It is through connection that we find new perspectives, learn from others, and bring our ideas to life in ways that we could never achieve alone. But it's not just about connecting with others on a surface level. Real innovation comes when we open ourselves up to meaningful connections that require us to listen, to empathize, to truly understand. When we take the time to listen to someone's story, to understand their needs, their challenges, and their dreams, we tap into a deeper well of insight. This kind of connection allows us to see things from a new perspective, to understand what people truly care about, and to design solutions that are not only creative but also relevant and impactful. Innovation is about addressing real-world problems, and the best way to do that is by forming connections that allow us to see and feel those problems firsthand. Even the connections we make with the world around us play an essential role in the creative process. Nature, for instance, is a powerful source of inspiration. When we take the time to step outside, to immerse ourselves in the world around us, we can find solutions in the way nature solves its own challenges. There are countless examples of innovations inspired by natural systems, from the design of energy-efficient buildings to new medical technologies. By connecting with the environment and observing the patterns, processes, and solutions that already exist in the natural world, we can tap into a wealth of untapped creativity. The more we open ourselves up to the world around us, the more inspiration we receive. At the same time, it's important to connect with ourselves to understand our own values, our own desires, and our own purpose. Innovation requires a deep understanding of who we are, what we stand for, and what we want to contribute to the world. When we connect with our authentic selves, our ideas become more genuine, more passionate, and more aligned with our true purpose. This self-connection fuels the drive and the vision necessary to push through challenges, to stay committed when things get difficult, and to continue creating when the path isn't always clear. Innovation comes not just from the external world, but from within our own inner knowledge and intuition guide us in ways that logic alone can't. And then, of course, there is the connection between ideas themselves. The most powerful innovations often come when we connect existing ideas in new and surprising ways. This is where true creativity happens, not when we invent something completely out of nothing, but when we take what we already know and combine it in novel ways. Innovation is a process of synthesis, of taking elements from different sources and merging them together to create something new. The connections we make between ideas, between concepts, between technologies can lead to breakthroughs that revolutionize industries, improve lives, and change the world. Ultimately, connection is the thread that weaves everything together in the creative process. It's the bridge between individuals, the link between ideas, and the bond between vision and reality. Without connection, ideas remain isolated and stagnant. But with connection, ideas grow, evolve, and thrive. Whether it's through collaboration, empathy, or simply being open to the world around us, connection is what fuels innovation and gives our ideas the power to change the world. When we connect deeply with others, with nature, with ourselves, we unlock the true potential of creativity and pave the way for new possibilities. Listening to the world around us is one of the most powerful and often underutilized tools in the process of innovation. Too often, we're caught up in our own thoughts, our own plans, and our own ambitions, moving forward without really paying attention to the subtle signals the world is sending us. The truth is, the world is constantly speaking. It's in the needs we see in society, the problems that cry out for solutions, the quiet moments in nature that inspire new perspectives, and the stories we hear from the people around us. By truly listening, by tuning in and paying attention, we open ourselves to an endless well of ideas, insights, and possibilities that can guide our creativity in ways we may not even expect. Listening is not just about hearing words or sounds, it's about being attuned to what's happening around us, being present and fully engaged with the environment and the people we encounter. There's a profound difference between simply hearing what is being said and truly listening to the underlying message. Often, the best ideas come not from a single moment of inspiration, but from observing, understanding, and reflecting on the world around us. It's about noticing the gaps, the challenges, the desires that haven't been fully expressed. It's in the silences between the noise, the unspoken needs, and the unsolved problems that the seeds of innovation are often planted. When we listen closely, we start to hear the needs that are often overlooked. The world doesn't just speak in grand declarations sometimes, it whispers through small, everyday moments. A customer struggling with an inefficiency, a community facing an unmet need, an artist frustrated by a limitation. These are all signs that something is asking to be created, to be solved, or to be improved. Innovation is often born when we listen to the problems that are right in front of us and find ways to address them. Whether by improving a product, rethinking a service, or reimagining a system. These problems, when given attention, become opportunities for change and progress. Listening to the world also means tuning into the patterns and rhythms that exist around us. Often we're so focused on the immediate task or challenge at hand that we miss the broader trends and shifts that are occurring in society, culture, technology, and the environment. Every era has its own set of cultural and technological moments that create opportunities for new ideas to emerge. The world is constantly changing, evolving, and adapting. By listening closely to the changes in the air, whether they're social movements, advancements in technology, or shifts in consumer behavior, we can position ourselves to be part of that evolution. Innovation is rarely about creating something out of thin air. It's about understanding the landscape and responding to the currents that are already flowing. Equally important is the role of listening to others. People are constantly sharing their experiences, opinions, and ideas, but are we really hearing them? The most powerful breakthroughs often come when we listen not just to the surface level words, but to the deeper emotions, the unmet needs, the frustrations, and the dreams of others. By listening to what others are experiencing, we gain empathy, and through empathy, we begin to see the world through their eyes. This deeper understanding allows us to design solutions that are meaningful, relevant, and impactful. Innovation is not just about inventing new things, it's about creating things that truly resonate with people, that address their needs in a real and tangible way. Listening to others is how we make sure our ideas are not just theoretical, but grounded in real-world impact. In a broader sense, listening to the world means being attuned to the environment around us. Nature itself offers an abundance of lessons for innovation. From the way ecosystems maintain balance to the way animals adapt to their environments, nature's intelligence is a source of infinite inspiration. By observing how the natural world solves complex problems, we can learn how to create more sustainable, efficient, and harmonious solutions in our own work. Biomimicry, the practice of drawing inspiration from nature, has led to innovations in everything from architecture to medicine to energy production. Nature is constantly offering insights. It's up to us to stop and listen closely enough to hear them. At its core, listening to the world is about being present, open, and aware. It's about cultivating the ability to step outside of ourselves, to quiet our own voices long enough to hear the world's whispers. Sometimes this means slowing down, taking a moment of pause, or stepping away from our busy lives to really observe what's unfolding around us. When we give ourselves the space to listen, we allow new ideas to emerge naturally, organically. It's like letting the seeds of innovation take root, ideas that were always there, just waiting for us to notice them. Listening also means being open to feedback and critique. It's not enough to create something and assume it's perfect. We must listen to how the world responds to what we put out into it. Whether it's customer feedback, peer reviews, or even personal reflections, listening to how others engage with our ideas helps us refine and improve them. Innovation is a dynamic, iterative process, and each piece of feedback we receive, positive or negative, can help us move closer to something even more impactful. Ultimately, listening to the world is about tuning into the flow of life itself. When we are receptive to what is happening around us, whether in the lives of others, in the trends of our culture, in the lessons of nature, or in the whispers of our own intuition, we create the conditions for true innovation. It's a practice of being fully present, of slowing down enough to notice the subtle signals, and of allowing ourselves to respond thoughtfully and creatively. The world is constantly speaking to us. The question is, are we listening? Trusting your intuition is one of the most powerful yet often overlooked aspects of the creative and innovative process. We live in a world where logic, data, and analysis dominate much of our decision-making. And while these tools are important, intuition is a different kind of knowledge, a quieter, more subtle form of wisdom that resides deep within us. It's the inner sense, the gut feeling, the hunch that tells something is right, even when we can't fully explain why. It's an instinctive knowing, a pull toward a particular direction that transcends pure rational thought. Intuition is not just random guessing or wishful thinking. It's the product of years of experiences, observations, and emotional insights that we may not even be consciously aware of. Every person has a vast reservoir of knowledge accumulated over their lifetime, often drawn from moments we may not even consciously register. When we tap into our intuition, we are accessing all of that hidden information, pieces of our personal history, emotional responses, and learned patterns, most of which are stored in the subconscious mind. It's like a mental map that guides us when we're navigating the unknown. And while it may not always be easy to articulate, it's often remarkably accurate. In innovation, intuition becomes especially important because it allows us to make decisions when the answers are not clear, when the road ahead is uncertain, or when the data alone can't guide us. Innovation often requires going beyond what is already known, stepping into uncharted territory where logic and analysis may fall short. This is where intuition shines, when you have to trust that what you feel is right, even if you can't yet see the full picture. It's about having the confidence to move forward based on a deeper understanding that transcends facts and figures. The act of creation itself often begins with an intuitive leap, a spark of inspiration that doesn't come from the logical mind, but from something deeper inside of us. What's also important to realize is that intuition doesn't operate in a vacuum. It is strengthened by knowledge, experience, and observation. The more we expose ourselves to new ideas, perspectives, and challenges, the richer our intuitive sense becomes. It's not about shutting off the logical brain, but rather integrating intuition with the rational mind. Innovation often requires a combination of both a balance of thinking strategically and following that internal compass that can lead you toward unexpected and groundbreaking solutions. And in the context of collaboration and connection, intuition also plays a vital role. When we work with others, especially in creative or problem-solving environments, our intuitive senses can guide us to the right partnerships, the right solutions, or even the right timing. It's that feeling you get when you know someone is the right fit for a project, or when an idea just clicks into place in a way that feels organic and effortless. When we trust our intuition, we also build deeper connections with those around us, recognizing the unseen energy and alignment that often forms the foundation of great collaborations. The value of diverse perspectives cannot be overstated, especially when it comes to innovation and problem solving. Often we tend to gravitate toward people and ideas that are similar to our own, thinking that shared experiences and viewpoints will make the process smoother or more efficient. But when we limit ourselves to a narrow range of perspectives, we miss out on a wealth of insight that can help us see beyond our own biases, assumptions, and blind spots. The beauty of diversity lies in its ability to challenge the status quo, open up new avenues of thinking, and offer solutions that we might never have arrived at on our own. In the end, the value of diverse perspectives is immeasurable. It challenges our thinking, sparks our creativity, and leads to solutions that are more inclusive, relevant, and impactful. Innovation is not a solitary pursuit. It thrives when we come together to share ideas, challenge one another, and learn from each other. When we embrace diversity, we open the door to endless possibilities, unlocking new ways of solving problems and creating a better future for all. By inviting a broad range of voices into the conversation, we create a space where innovation can truly thrive. The courage required for innovation is not always dramatic or bold in the traditional sense. Sometimes it's about the quiet determination to continue moving forward when the world around you is skeptical, or the confidence to pursue a vision that others might dismiss as too risky or too unconventional. It's about trusting in your ability to create something new, even when you don't yet know how it will all come together. In this sense, innovation is a leap of faith, a leap that involves going beyond what is known and embracing the possibility of something greater. Another important aspect of innovation is courage, is the ability to embrace failure not as a setback, but as a necessary part of the process. Every failure is a lesson, a step closer to finding the right answer. Innovation is rarely a straight line. It's a winding road filled with obstacles, trial and error, and moments of doubt. It takes courage to fail and to learn from those failures, to keep iterating and improving until you find a solution that works. The fear of failure can paralyze many, keeping them from even trying. But those who have the courage to fail forward, to view failure as feedback rather than defeat, are the ones who ultimately succeed in creating something truly transformative. This kind of courage is also necessary in the face of criticism. When you're innovating, you're often doing something that no one has done before, or at least not in the same way. This means that others may not immediately understand your vision, or may actively question your methods and ideas. It takes courage to stand by your convictions, to defend your ideas, and to continue pushing forward even when the path isn't clearly paved. There will be doubts along the way, both external and internal. The courage to innovate is the courage to keep going despite them. Innovation, in many ways, is a direct descendant of the playful spirit. Consider some of the world's most iconic inventions. Many came about because someone dared to ask what if or why not. These questions are rooted in curiosity and imagination, fueled by the freedom to explore possibilities without being tethered to limitations. In the realm of business, technology, or the arts, it's often the creative breakthroughs that come from playful exploration that have the most transformative impact. When we allow ourselves to experiment with wild ideas, to think without judgment, and to play with different concepts, we unlock new pathways of thinking that lead to novel solutions. Imagination is not just the province of artists or dreamers, it is the foundation of all innovation, and play is the means by which we tap into it. Whether it's the playful tinkering of an inventor, the imaginative vision of a designer, or the spontaneous brainstorming session of a team, play unlocks the full potential of the creative mind. It encourages us to explore, to imagine, to explore, to imagine, to experiment, and to enjoy the process of creation. In a world that often emphasizes productivity and results, play reminds us that creativity thrives when we embrace curiosity, when we allow ourselves to be inspired, and when we approach the world with a sense of wonder and possibility. At the heart of innovation is the idea of continuous growth. It's not about arriving at a singular moment of perfection. It's about making incremental improvements, learning from mistakes, and adapting as new information and circumstances arise. Every step along the way, every failure, every adjustment, every new idea contributes to the overall journey. Innovation requires patience, persistence, and resilience. It's about committing to the process rather than focusing solely on the outcome. Another key aspect of innovation as a journey is the need for flexibility. As we travel down the road of discovery, we must be prepared to adjust our course as new information, challenges, and opportunities arise. The path to innovation is rarely straight. Often we encounter obstacles or unexpected detours that force us to rethink our approach, pivot, or change direction altogether. But this flexibility, this ability to adapt, is what allows us to stay on course even when the original plan no longer seems viable. Innovation is not about sticking rigidly to one path. It's about being open to new possibilities and remaining agile enough to course correct when necessary. Moreover, the journey of innovation is deeply personal. While it involves external challenges and collaboration, it's also a path of self-discovery. As we navigate the unknown, we discover more about ourselves, our passions, our strengths, and our capacity for resilience. We learn how to manage uncertainty, how to lead through change, and how to stay focused on the bigger vision, even when the path ahead is unclear. The lessons we learn along the way shape not only our ideas, but also our growth as individuals. Innovation, in this sense, is as much about personal transformation as it is about the products or solutions we create.